Books can change your mind, change your life, make you successful, can make you abundant, make you rich, and make your life journey far better than what you have. I have picked 7 such books which have incredibly impacted lives of millions of people and made them super successful in life. Let's get on and see how we can learn from them. If you're new to my channel and not subscribed as of now, please do subscribe. I'm sharing valuable contents on brain, mind and consciousness which would definitely help you grow in life and bring in some immense power of mind to change the quality of your life. Let's get on and delve into these incredible books. The first in the list of these books is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. This book got published in the year 1963 and this impacted millions of lives. This very word subconscious mind got popularized by this book. In the book, Joseph Murphy categorically emphasizes on the power of the subconscious mind, where he says that thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and all those internal things which are part of your subconscious mind determine your quality of life. Your reality is dependent on your thoughts and emotions and belief systems. If you want to change your reality, you have to change your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and your preferences and aspirations, which are buried deep inside the subconscious mind. In this book, he also specifies few of the powerful techniques, step-by-step methods, how you can access and reprogram your subconscious mind, change your thoughts, and change your reality. Very powerful book, and if you're interested in mind, consciousness, and if you're interested in your self-development, this is a must-read book. I have given the link below. Certainly get that book and read. The second in the list is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This is by Stephen Covey, published in 1989. Very comprehensive, talking about 7 habits, and each of these habits are so deep and explained beautifully with a lot of metaphors, lot of examples. I would say this is one of the most groundbreaking books that has been written in the domain of personal excellence and self-development. The 7 habits that Stephen Covey is emphasizing upon. First, it's to be proactive, meaning to take responsibility of your life and of your decisions. The second habit talks about your goal and a plan to reach the goal. Third habit is about prioritizing. And in this book, you'll find a lot of interesting modules, a lot of interesting frameworks, concepts, simple yet powerful. One such concept here mentioned in prioritization is a beautiful model of urgent and important matrix. This matrix will give you the idea how to prioritize things in life. That's the third habit. People who are effective, they prioritize and accordingly they work, they perform, they act. The fourth habit is a kind of mindset where effective people, they have a mindset of win-win. That means they would not be very selfish, only looking at what they're gaining in a transaction, but they would see how every party, every individual involved in a situation or transaction is growing and getting some positive outcome of that transaction. The mindset of win-win, that's what is the fourth habit. The fifth habit is understanding before we persuade others. It's to develop that kind of an empathy, to understand the standpoint of the person, understand the mindset from which the other person is operating so that we can persuade, influence him or her in a better manner. The sixth habit is about synergy. How to get more out of a collective or a group of people. How to reduce the frictions, how to bring them together in a manner so that the outcome of the group is more than individual capability and performance. And finally, the seventh habit, probably the most important of all of them, is sharpening the saw, as he calls it. And this is about personal development, continual personal development in all the dimensions in a very balanced manner, whether it is physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual well-being, and grow as a human being. So this is probably one of the monumental works in the domain of self-help and personal excellence, as a must read for those who are interested in mind, psychology, personal development, and mind mastery. The third book in my list is Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. This book got published in the year 1995. This book challenged the conventional emphasis on IQ. In that book, Daniel Goleman very strongly proposes that IQ is not sufficient. It may be a kind of necessary condition, but not sufficient for success. And when he talks about emotional intelligence, he talks about the ability to recognize, understand, and appreciate the emotion of self and others. And typically it talks about 5 different aspects of emotional intelligence, like self-awareness, self-regulation, self-motivation, empathy, That means understanding others' standpoint, understanding the feeling of others, and social skills like relationship management, managing conflicting situations and scenario, managing things where there are multiple interests involved. So this is social skill. So in essence, this book emphasized that our success depends more on emotional intelligence than our conventional intelligence or logical intelligence, critical thinking. It also emphasized upon how we develop the other aspect, how we connect with people, how we understand others, understand ourselves. Very powerful book, and a lot of research data has been provided in this, including how the brain mediates the cognition and emotion. What part of the brain thinks and makes the decision, and what part of the brain emotionally gets engaged in those processes. Especially strong emphasis on a part of the brain known as the limbic system and amygdala has been given here, and it also talks about how interplay between different parts of the brain leads to our understanding and emotional connect. And the best part of the book is Daniel Goleman strongly proposes that emotional intelligence is a learnable skill. That means you can improve in all the different dimensions of emotional intelligence and thereby become more effective and successful in life. My next pick is The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. This book got published in 1997, authored by Robin Sharma, and one of the best sellers. And the book is very famous for its simplicity. It talks about self-exploratory journey of a so-called successful lawyer who is very rich, having all materialistic pleasure, but unfortunately unhappy inside. And as the journey goes with very simple terms, very deep philosophy of life has been explained, and that's the reason why it is such a powerful book. And it talks about 7 virtues of enlightened living. Each one of these virtues have been deconstructed in a very simplified manner with a lot of anecdotes, a lot of simple stories which can help everyone to grasp and also to implement. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari is a very thought-provoking story. You'll find the depth of philosophy has been represented in the simplest possible manner. If you're interested in self-development and personal excellence and inner journey, then this is a must-read for you. Now coming to the 5th one of my favorites that I have in the list. The top 2, if you ask me to choose from the list of 7, this would definitely be there. And of course, the last one is my favorite, number 1. This is Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. This book was published in 2005. I would say this is a controversial book because there are some radical proclamation, some claims by Bruce Lipton. If you look at some of the statements which have been mentioned out there, you would be surprised to see that these are not coming from some spiritual guru, but from a scientist. Where Lipton says, the biology of belief is how our thoughts, emotions, and perceptions control our genetic expression. Radical. He is going into the domain of epigenetics and claiming that this is a possibility. Gene is not the final authority in our destiny. Look at another statement that he is making here. Each and every perception that we have creates a new structure in our body. And as he goes on this, he says science of epigenetics is about how the emotions, thoughts, perceptions are not just activating the genes, impacting the genes, they are changing the structure of the genes. And this, he is giving a lot of scientific evidences from different research and putting forth in that book. He is going further saying that memories stored in the cells of the body also alter the genetic activity. And the biggest claim that he is making, by conscious choice, by getting into some kind of meditative processes, visualization and affirmation, we can change the internal structure of the body and we can change our destiny, so to say. People who are interested both in scientific development and also radical thinking must read this book. 6th in the list is Evolve Your Brain by Joe Dispenza. This book is very similar to the Biology of Belief. The difference here is emphasis on healing and spontaneous remission. That means you cannot actually logically explain a process of healing which otherwise would not have been possible scientifically. This is where Joe Dispenza has been focusing on, because he himself had an accident where everybody predicted, including most of the doctors predicted, he would not survive, not be able to walk in his life. But through certain processes, meditative and certain internal processes, Joe Dispenza could prove all of them wrong by not just surviving, he also could come up and join his office within a span of less than 6 months. This was the power that he probably experienced himself. Then being a doctor, a chiropractor, he started getting deeper into this process, understanding the structure of the brain. In the book itself, you'll find a lot of explanation of the brain structure, how probably it affects the body to get healed. He also focuses on a concept called placebo effect, where when the mind thinks that I am getting healed, the body also obliges. Fascinating book with a lot of instances, examples, and it also suggests some of the specific practices through neuroscientific explanation of how the mind can make the brain function in a way and modulate the body to heal itself. Very powerful, wonderful read. I trust all of those who believe or who are fascinated by these new age concepts would definitely love this book. And at number 7 is my number 1 pick. The name of the book is Telltale Brain by Dr. V.S. Ramachandran. This is to an extent a technical book, nevertheless so fascinating, being written by a mainstream scientist with amazing clarity, where he is constructing the whole human experience, human perceptions, human self using the different aspects of brain. Here he is using the deformities in the brain and understanding of different brain disorders. Like a detective, he is finding out what happens in the brain so that human beings experience their life the way they are experiencing it. And where he is also describing some of the amazing experiences of human being, like out of body experience, how we are confusing in our brain with respect to colors. There are certain disorders in the brain which can completely create a different human experience. So there are fascinating explanation of various aspects of human experience, and the best part of the book is the book tries to construct 7 different elements of self, and that is probably so similar to the spiritual explanation of the ancient Indian tradition. The book is amazing, technical nature for sure, my favorite as I mentioned. Those of you who are inclined to understand brain in all technicalities in its anatomy would definitely love this book. So these are the 7 books that I mentioned. If you like this video, please do like the video, do share this video with others. And certainly let me know in the comments which is your favorite book, and please also suggest me what you love to know about in the domain of brain, mind and consciousness. Thank you and see you soon.